Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Hey, welcome to Blowing the Trumpet and Staying on Your Pivot. This is Karatazar SOZ Houston.
This is the brother Potter Wafia from SOZ Houston.
Brother Call from SOZ Atlanta.
And we trying to warn our people to what? We blowing that trumpet?
Hey, stay on that pivot, man.
Hey, man, it's going to be a great day. It's a great day. All praise to the Most High. We got some really interesting topics to go over today. You know what I'm saying? But before we get into any of the topics, we always want to give all honor and glory to the Most High by saying, Call Allah Yahweh by Hashem, Mashak Wamalak Yahweh Shai. All praise to the Most High through his son, Yahweh Shai, the King and Savior for Israel. And we're going to start it off with the book of Colossians 3:17, just so we can get it started. This is the book of Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai, giving thanks to Yahweh and the Father by him. And, you know, that's what we just say. Before we get started, we want to give all honor and glory to the Most High and, you know, do our works and our deeds. And this is one of the deeds that we chose to do for the Lord in honor and respect of his people, Israel, and to show forth the first thing that we should be doing. If you know you love Israel, what is that? You love your people of the Lord, man. And so any brothers got another precept they want to bring up for an opening precept?
Khan, I'm gonna get the classic, right? Can you give me the book of Habakkuk 2:1?
You want me to read that, or you got it, brother?
Can you read it, please?
Khan, this is Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
You see that? So the Lord's speaking, man. He's giving his word, he's giving his decrees, and he's telling you what's going to happen in the earth. And for those who are watching, they're going to have that understanding. They're going to be able to answer the Lord when they are reproved, man. But for those who are just blindly walking around, they're going to be confounded, right? And that's a scary thing to be, especially in front of the eyes of the Holy One. It's confounded, right? So, Khan, that's it, King.
Khan, can you pull Sirach 3:17, Bible Shah?
No problem.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 17. It says, so like, is that what I wanted? Give me Amos 3:6. Like it. Right.
That was a mighty precept, though. Salaki.
That was. I was going to say. I might have to use that one today.
Khan.
I'm going to tell somebody.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 6. Shall the trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it? So we have to understand, right? The things, these are warning signs coming from the Lord. The Lord is beginning to visit the world, and everything that's happening, we have to kind of understand that these things are happening for a reason. This is the Lord that's doing this, right? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people be not afraid, right? Just like you have your air raid sirens, you know, the government, they do these air raid tests, right? That's a warning for the people, right? The Lord is sounding his trumpet by having certain prophecies kick off in the order that they do, right? It says, shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it? So we got to understand, even though it may seem, you know, like things are getting worse over time, you know, people are afraid right now, but we have to be in the spirit and understand that this is all of the Lord. And if we be his children, then why should we be afraid of the works of the Father, right? So with that, you know, you.
Khan, mighty points, brothers. Hey, all praise to the Most High, bringing that edification out for the people today. So let's go ahead and jump into the first topic. You know, we like to do our little weather segment. And, you know, as we all know, throughout the U.S., it's been very, 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 very cold. You know, we was at risk of a deep freeze that could have caused so much infrastructure damage. But if you weren't affected by that, all praise to the Most High that the Lord spared us and had mercy on our households, that we didn't encounter any loss of power or pipes bursting or any damages, and, you know, nothing that was extremely against us, and we were sheltered by his hands, right? So let's open up the first article. That's kind of a pretty strange article if you really look at it. You know, it says U.S. in deep freeze while much of the world is in extra toasty. Yet again, it's climate change. Like we just said, man, we know that it's of the Lord. You know what I mean? And the rest of the world is in a state where they literally are in the opposite situation, where the world is heating up. You know what I mean? The people are in drought situations. They have no water. And we brought out last week, we had Saudi Arabia having floods of hail out of nowhere. So the world's is what you call it, the ecosystem of the world it's flipped upside down because the Lord said He's going to bring these things to end in the last of these days, right? And so let's bring. I just want to bring out you know Matthew 24. Let's just open it up with something like that, just so we can kind of see where the brother. Because you brought out a good point, you call. You said these are those prophecies that are going to start opening up and showing forth in these last days, man. Right? So let's bring out what the Lord would say, in these last days. Check it out. I want to say, look, Matthew. I'm going to start with 20 and 24 and 8. Matthew 24 and 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows, man. And what was he talking about when he said these things? Many things that were going to happen. Some pestilence. There's going to be some wars starting to be discussed. And we've seen all these things. And we have a mighty show can go through all of these different things. But ultimately, what the Lord was saying is like, hey, there's going to be a time during these last days that for some reason He said it's going to be extremely cold. The Lord said what? Let's say let's go to 19. I'm actually going to just go to 20. It says, what the Lord say? But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on that Sabbath day. So check it out, because why would He say not in the winter? Because hey man, it's gonna be a cold, desolate thing. It's gonna be a hard thing whenever you running around. And actually, let's take it to the verse before, just so we can have context. It says, and woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Because right there is letting you know you're at a weakened state. When you're giving suck to a child, that means that baby is small and young. It needs to be bound up. It needs to be secured. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like us in so many ways, Israel. You know what I mean? We need to. We still like newborn babes sucking on the milk, man. We need to be protected in these last days with the wisdom of the Lord and not going into the wisdom of this world, man. You know what I'm saying? And then He said, because look, what's going to happen if you got small babies? The Lord's going to bring this tribulation on us, and we're going to have to flee. But the Lord said, pray that your flight not be in the winter. So imagine if the Lord decides to crack that sky open. We understand what's going on, but let's say you're not in the spirit, you're not keeping these commandments, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and then the Lord brings this type of weather to your area, man, and you got a newborn babe, and Jake and Eve, they can't watch TV, they like having babies. That's all we like to do. And in Egypt, when we was afflicted, what happened, brothers? We had what?
Multiple kids. We multiplied.
Multiplied, right? So in our affliction, we multiply. And the Lord said these last days, pray that your flight ain't in the winter, because what? On the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation, such as we've not since the Salah. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So because it's gonna be the worst you can imagine, man. Imagine running away, trying to flee, and you know what's going on in the world. It's wicked stuff happening, and it's so cold that think about the terrible feeling as a mother or a parent that you're trying to secure your child. It's so cold, your baby freezes to death in your arms. You can't get the baby warm enough. That's going to be a great tribulation to see, man. And these are going to be the beginning of these things to come in these last days when the Lord say, hey, all these tribulations from the prophecy of the end of the times coming, these are going to be a part of those things. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got it.
I just want to make a quick point real quick, man. I seen a video on YouTube. I'm not on YouTube, on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? This person, he had a cabin. He had to go to the third story of the cabin, the third floor, and climb out, which is the attic. It had to climb out the window in the attic just for them to be above the snow, man. They had over 30-foot snow, man. And it was trapped in the cabin. And you got to imagine that. I've been seeing nothing but videos of animals frozen in place, man. The land is becoming extremely desolate, right? If you pay attention, there's a lot of animals that's being killed, man. These natural deers, you won't find them no more. They buried under the snow. Right? The things that you like to hunt, Esau like to hunt down, they tell you can eat squirrels. Hey, they're all going to be gone, man. And that's preparing us for that day that we're in the wilderness, which is a desolate land, man. And like the Lord said, His servant is going to eat in that day. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to bring out, hey, if you pay attention, it's a preparation going on, man. Things are slowly happening. And it's happening in small increments, but it's happening.
Shalom, Aharon. Shalom, brother.
Shalom, King.
Shalom. Con. Can you give me the book of Psalms 147 and 16? Because that's a crazy point. That's something a lot of people don't think about. You know how the animals are going to be. You know, like we see in those post-apocalyptic. You got to go to the cabin, find the cabin in the woods. It's freezing cold. You get the bow and arrow. You shoot the bunny. We know that's unlawful, but they get the bow and arrow. They shoot the bunny. The bunny's going to last them. Maybe about 2 days if they ration it right. Like you got to think about what the Lord is really setting up here. You know, you got to shoot the deer. You got to find the deer, hunt the deer. They just happen to, a deer just happens to run across the cabin, right? You got to hunt the deer, right? You gotta forge, the wool, and it's not, Jake, our people as a whole, we're not learning how to skin a deer like that. We're not learning how to cook a meal out of nothing, out of little portions, right? I remember Tabernacles about 2 years ago, right? We was on watch. This is before we started SOZ, of course, but we were doing a watch. And we found, Edomites making turtle soup in the woods, man. Right? The shell was carved out. Right? You could see what they were doing. They were making turtle soup in the woods. And it's not even the end of the day, it's the end times, but it's not to the point where you kind of just got to do what you got to do. Right? So I'm gonna read this. It says, so that's just for perspective, right? But this is Psalms 147 and 16. It says, He giveth snow like wool, He scattered the hoarfrost like ashes, right? When you go outside, you got the morning dew, right? When it's cold outside, you got the morning, ice. You got that layer of ice on the road, right? You might have black ice. They say, yo, be careful, you skidding across, because why? The Lord, He cast these things down. The weather and the elements, we got to understand those things are going to be weapons of destruction as well, right? When you have hail coming down, right, that could be used to kill somebody for real, right? The Lord could literally have the sky have hail size of baseballs come down just to strike somebody. It could be for one man. It could be for 12 men, right? But the Lord is going to get His purpose done, right? Next verse, Baba Kasha. So the elements are also used as a weapon of mass destruction, right? It says, verse 17, He casteth forth His ice like morsels. Who can stand? Who can stand before His cold? Right? Who can stand before the Lord's cold? Right? Men of the Lord know when the temperature drop. Right? This weekend in Atlanta is going to be 16 degrees. Right? When that temperature drops, right, and your hands, it could just be your hands. You could be all bundled up, but if you ain't got no gloves, it's over for thou. Right? It's simply finished, right? Your hands start kind of turning different colors, right? You can't feel nothing, right? Let you hit your toe on something and it's freezing outside. It's gonna feel twice as bad, right? So the Lord, He sets up, like I said, if you could get that picture of that Edomite with the snow in his beard real quick, because that is madness, right? Jake not walking around outside with snow in his beard, like it's just nothing. Like he just chilling with snow in his beard, right? This is stuff. Our people, as a whole, we come from a very hot climate, right? Israel is a very hot climate, right? Esau, they're used to this, right? They love the cold, right? Because they come from them caves, man. They come from high mountains. They come from caves. This is custom, right? This is tradition. This is Edomite tradition. Their feast days was in caves. You know what I'm saying? Right? Skinning animals and wearing the fur, right?
Hey, man.
So it's a spiritual aspect to it. But moral of the story or point being is that the Lord uses these things as mass destruction. Right, the Lord is using the weather in manipulating elements, and Esau is trying to do it too. But we understand the Lord is working through Esau. He's using Esau to get his point across, for lack of better terms. He's using Esau right now to bring destruction upon Esau. Right, so we understand that these things are of the Lord. You got Edomites, and not to be too long-winded, but you got Edomites talking about global warming. Right, you got Edomites talk about Arctic freeze and things like that. These things are the Lord, right? So we can't be afraid. We can't worry about these things, even though it's going to come a time where you got to make certain choices, right? We still have to put our confidence in the Lord, right? But I yield.
That's mighty points, man. So, and you got to understand, you brought out something really interesting about this cave beast that we're watching right here. They do love to be in the mountains. And what do they normally like to call themselves? These type of people that they call themselves mountain men. Don't they like to say that? They love to live in Colorado and the Rockies and be out there chasing polar bears and shit. You know, just weirdos. Being honest, let's bring out the classic. I think it's Obadiah 1. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Job 30.
Yeah, I was gonna go Job 30, but you know, Nain and Brain, those beasts eating the juniper roots, right? we're gonna get them on more or less with their location, right? So the Obadiah 1 and 3, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. I'm led to believe that this is probably in the mountains somewhere, man. Because you know, this and even let's see where this is. This is in New York, so this is you know, but either way, this is how they look in the mountains, this is how they look everywhere they go. These are the dudes that climb Mount Everest and stake a flag at the top of the mountain just to say that they perched at the highest point on the earth. So it matches. Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's the standard white man right there, ain't it? Edomite. To say, look, I'm so high and mighty above the world that who's going to bring me down to the earth's ground? Who's going to bring me out of my reign instead, right? And the Lord is showing forth, like we said, these signs of weather pestilence, you know, diverse earthquakes and different things that are happening on this earth right here. But let's read a little bit of this article. It says, much of the United States is shivering through brutal cold as most of the rest of the world is feeling unusually warm weather. However strange it sounds, that contradiction fits snugly in explanations of what climate change is doing to the earth, scientists said. And we already know who think that they got the wise men in Edom. Who's the one that thinks they can declare their science over what the Lord has written in his word to be true, what's going to happen in this earth, the prophecies. So they're trying to, you know, overly take the glory from the Lord's works and say it's due to what they declare as climate change. You can call the Lord's hand whatever you want, but we know climate change is the works of the Lord. If it is something that's happening in the earth, was it not like you just said? Is there evil in the earth and the Lord did not do it? So we know that it's not the science. You understand what I'm saying? So anybody else got something else to cook on that?
Yeah, I got a quick one. Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. Right? Because the brother's touching up on something beautiful, man. I ain't gonna go too far into it, but let's read this. Right?
Wisdom of Solomon 3:1. Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of Yahweh, and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the work master.
You see that? So, hey, if you're ignorant of the Most High God, you're vain by nature. And that's what Esau is, man. He's naturally vain, man. Right? And like I said, I ain't gonna get too far into it, right? But the works of Esau is always going to be against the Most High God. Whether it's a small thing, whether it's a big thing. Even when they smile in your face and laugh with you, joke with you, kind of trying to give you things, they always have something secretly on the inside, man. Right? So when we watch these videos, remember everything they give us, man. It don't matter if it's money, right? It don't matter if it's aid. It don't matter if it's information. They're always doing it with something in mind to get something in return, man. They don't help you for free, right? That's why they love the so-called Israelites, because we give and we give and we give until we have nothing left. And then we try to give more. But that's it.
Those are mighty points. And, you know, and that's just within, you know, the Lord's work. So you can see the times, just like we say, if you can't see that, then, hey, are you really knowledgeable of the Most High God? That's exactly what the wisdom is saying, man. And like we trying to blow this trumpet at these last days so we can make sure our people are not ignorant to the things that the Most High has declared in the earth, because they don't read the scriptures. Like we say, don't really go into like believing the, you know, the accounts. You're not really, you kind of just going through the motion. But there's so much wisdom and understanding. Like it's a living book. This is better than any show or any Netflix or any movie ever made in the history of anything. You know, that's what we used to read. We used to use the books to get the visual understanding. And I don't know if anybody's old enough to be able to say this saying as well, that, you know, the book is better than the movie. And shalom, sis. Shalom, sis. You understand? That's why we used to like to read the books. And when you get to watch the movie, you was always let down because the description and the way your mind can break it down is always better than what somebody's visual creation could come up to. Because if they're not really creative enough, they're not going to do the words of the script or the article or the book justice, right? So you really want to see what's really going to happen in this earth, you got to pick up this Bible and read it. You got to read your scriptures, man. So you can really be present in spirit and in faith and in sight because you're looking through the eyes of the Lord's words, man. You can't make a better story. Nobody can make anything up that's going to make it look like a certain way. Actually, there's a movie right now. I don't remember the name of it, but it vexes my spirit. It's a movie about Esther that's going around. It's a new one. Something about the king, marrying the king or some shit, right?
Oh.
And yeah, and they depicting her as an Edomite, obviously, right? Even the damn the Mede guy is you know, in the story, the king with Vesta and all that, he's an Edomite. You know, Mordecai is an Edomite. There's not one of us to be seen in the whole movie. But you know, those are the things that if you're ignorant, you're gonna believe those are your people, or those are the people of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stay, you know, outside of this mindset of ignorance to the works of the Most High, and always give honor to the workmaster. But this is gonna actually lead us into the next statement, because what a lot of the times we believe what the media tells us. We believe that, you know, everything's getting better. We believe that, look, if you know, if the white man didn't tell us it, then it ain't really the truth. The Lord said it, but hey, we got to question that. But the white man said it, Esau said it, then guess what? Yeah, there he goes. One night with the king. That's what this wicked movie is. If you want to get your spirit vexed and be you know, ready to stone something, curse out every other nation, that's what the name of that wicked ass movie is, man. That's the one right there.
Hey, there's a lot of movies like that. The Crucifixion of Christ, where they do that.
Yeah, what's that? Passion of the Christ?
Yeah, Passion of the Christ. There we go.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying, brother. So when you're looking at a lot of this stuff, this is kind of what it is. It kind of gets this. And this is what we're getting into, like, to our next topic. It's kind of like they tell us the things are getting better. You know what I mean? And we already know that it's really not. Is this the one I really want to get to right now? I think that's the one that you sent, right?
Yeah.
Is this the one that you sent? No, that's not it. This is the one. All right, it's this one, right? Okay, check this out. Let's run this real quick, just on sound. This jumps into our next one. Oh.
Confirmation that the mainstream media is corrupt. We just got our clearest indication yet. CNN is now admitting that they have to get approval from Israel before they run any news pieces about the war in Gaza. Can you imagine that? So CNN, which purports to be an independent news organization, right, the most trusted name in news, has to run things up the flagpole in order to before broadcast. So a CNN whistleblower has come forward admitting to The Intercept that CNN has a long-time relationship with the censor bureau in Jerusalem. So let's just go through this piece.
So we don't really have to go through it all yet, because this can run into our next point as well. But the point that we're showing is that, hey, man, CNN is supposed to be the top independent news source, unbiasedly reporting things that other people don't want to know. So let's say there's something in America happening, like with the food shortages or the things that are expected of what's happening in the conditions of the earth right now. You see that these media outlets are in cahoots with the people that are trying to keep the agenda above us and keep us believing things that are not true. So where you're saying, like, hey, we got food shortages, we got these pestilence, we got these things, that's a true statement, but are they reporting that in the news? No, they're talking about, you know, damn Israel or Gaza over here. You understand what I'm saying? They talking about this misdirection. But what's happening in the States right now with food?
Hey, everybody, this is Shad Sullivan coming to you from the headwaters of Bitter Creek, Archer County, North Texas. We have to talk. State officials will be assisting to help identify potential alternative markets if a producer is unable to move animals, and if necessary, advise and assist on depopulation and disposal methods. Ladies and gentlemen, we are plowing under vegetable crops from coast to coast. We are euthanizing millions of chickens. We are aborting sows and burying feeder pigs. We are dumping milk by the hundreds of thousands of gallons, and now they are preparing us to depopulate the fat cattle ready to harvest because of a bottleneck created by the effects of COVID. This thing hasn't been created by COVID, but the effects of COVID and the logistics therein. We are in trouble. Our food supply is in trouble, and I am appealing to producers and consumers across the nation to start calling. Yesterday, the first shipment of imported beef from the country of Namibia hit the shores of the United States of America. And yet this morning, they are telling us to prepare to euthanize harvest-ready cattle. Am I the only one that sees a problem in this? It is time we get the American people back to work. It is time we get money flowing. It is time we get food on the shelves. Because if you're not concerned about this food supply problem, you better be.
And this is Esau, man. Esau's telling you how wicked Esau really is. Because with that being said, who did he mention who is telling them to do all these things? The key players. There's a group of people, and y'all brothers can cook on this. I'm just gonna jump to Psalms 83, man. Because there's a group of people that are definitely behind these acts of depleting and trying to, what do they say, population control, euthanize. You see that? Let's bring it right here. Let's bring it out on verse number we'll just go from verse 2, Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. So they all got this big idea. There's a group of people out there that this farmer is in North Texas. He doesn't really know who probably it is, but I'm pretty sure he knows who it is in some form or fashion because he's in the industry, right? But they making an agreement, like, hey, we got to kill all the chickens. We got to kill all the ready to produce fat cows for beef for the people in America. They have, verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. I'm not trying to be funny, but one of the most affordable meats that our people actually endure and eat a lot of is what? The chickens, because they're cheap. You can go to get a pack of 12 legs for $5. And that's during the inflation. How much were chicken legs before inflation? So we've been able to survive off of these types of things for a long time because those are the things that are targeted for our people to kind of consume and to survive off of. You dig? So now they're like, let's get rid of all the affordable food for the so-called the people of America. Because if not, the wealthy, they don't have to eat that. What do they eat? They eat the finer things. They can order the vegetarians, whatever they want to do. They can afford to buy other things. But when you take away the food that's affordable for majority of your citizens, now that's going to cause starvation. Now that's going to cause seditions and this disruption because people are hungry. The stores aren't being shifted and stocked up, right? And it says, look, for lo, verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And we already don't know that, right? We don't know that. A lot of us don't know that we're Israel. But these are the same tactics that they did to destroy our name. That's going to be the same tactics they're going to try to destroy us in the flesh as well, because they reign over our flesh, right? And I know you brothers want to get in there, but let me get one more precept, and then actually I'm gonna just do it right here. For they have consulted together with one consent; they are confederate against thee. So don't think that these other nations that come to this land, the melting pot of America, the place where they can get the land of the free and the home of the brave, the land of opportunity, where every other nation can come here and get rich off of the sweat and blood and the damn wealth of the Israelites, man. So we make a majority of this place, believe it or not. We're the biggest consumer in this whole place, and that's a serious thing. So what happens when they cut down all the supplies of the things we need to survive on? That's called population control. We'll start dying slowly. We'll start killing each other to steal what they got. They're trying to put us in a position to be against each other because they are competitive against us. And I'll let one of y'all brothers go if y'all got something else to cook with.
Con, I got something real quick, man. Let's get the book of Mark chapter 3. We're gonna start at verse 24. Mark 3 and 24. Because she said something that was real unique right there. Right? Hey, the rich people, they got their own stuff, man. They don't need to go to Walmart. The rich people are not shopping at HEB, right? They're not going in Target, right? They got their own secret spots, man. They got their own islands where they get fresh food, man. Hey, Oprah Winfrey just brought up Hawaii, man. Mark Zuckerberg got his bunker out there in Hawaii. You don't think they got food right there packed and ready for him? Right? But notice something, right? Go ahead, can you read that?
Con, this is the book of Mark 3 and verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand.
Notice that the people of America are dividing against each other, man. Imagine that. They're all dividing against each other. They tell you that when America won its independence, it was England or Great Britain versus America. And all the Americans, they was on each other's side. Right? And that's how they were able to, it was the British, right? Conquer the British? Kick the British out, man. Right? But notice now in 2024, there's so many different sects in America, KKK, that everybody's divided against themselves, man. You got the rich Edomites oppressing the poor Edomites. You got the so-called rednecks, right? They get angry at the city folk, and they're all Edomites, man. Right now, these people are just created to hate, to kill, to murder. Right? That's what these people are created to do. And that's still in them. And since they're not able to exercise what the Lord put in them, they're going to do, when that day come up, they're going to truly let loose and show you their true nature. That's when you're going to see everything's going on. But if you pay attention, America is being divided, man. Now you got the farmers. Hey, they're speaking up. Hey, look, they're slaughtering everything. Why are they doing that, though? So you can depend more on the government. Because once you depend on the government, now you can't disobey. They tell you, hey, you can't go out there and speak about the Most High God. Now you gotta stay inside the house. And if you don't do it, hey, you ain't gonna get no food. The times are coming. The times that we've been prophesying about, the Israelites been prophesying about since the 90s, since the 80s. Hey, it's coming to pass, man. Now it's going to see who's truly greater, because the Lord is dividing the house of the so-called white man. His whole nation. America is about to be divided, man. And there's a lot of information that's out there, but I ain't going to speak on too much of it. I'm going to let that brother cook if he got to cook.
What you got,
You
King?
on point, King. Can you real quick give me Romans 8 and 35?
Con.
Right, because
Shalom,
that's
brother. Romans 8 and 35.
Con. Because that's a great precept to bring out all the time, man. That's something we gotta always keep in the back of our head, really at the forefront of our head, because our enemies surround us, man. They compass us, right? The Lord said He's going to scatter us to all nations of the earth, right? So this is Romans chapter 8 and verse 35. It says, "Who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword?" Right? These are all end time events, right? It says, "Who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach?" And how do you love? You keep the commandments. Who shall separate us? What is going to divide us from keeping the commandments and loving our people, man? Right? It shouldn't be tribulation, right? Because we all got to go through tribulation. It tells you, no man is going through something that the next man isn't, right? It's not. It shouldn't be distress, because we all go through distress. We're all under the curses, right? It shouldn't be persecution, because we expect that. It shouldn't be famine, because we see it happening now, right? It shouldn't be nakedness, right? Because we have the wisdom of the Lord. It shouldn't be peril, right? And it shouldn't be the sword, right? These things are things that we have to expect to come. These things shouldn't be things that separate us from the love of Mashiach, right? And real quick, if you could give me Ephesians 4 and 14, right? And I'm going to rest there. So even though we see famine coming, while I never lived through famine, you got some brothers and sisters, they go nights without eating, right? But still then that's they haven't seen famine. This is stuff that we haven't seen before, but we have to put our trust in the Lord and understand that He's going to provide for us in these times. It should be no no schism in our mind, no discrepancy in our mind to hinder us from continuing to show the Lord, giving our all, right? Because we know right now, we know that the Lord is going to protect us in those days. He's going to feed us. He said his servants are going to eat. He said his servants are going to laugh, right? We gotta have the mindset that we are going to be those people, right? It says Ephesians 4:14 that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro. Because you could tell a child anything. I could tell my 1-year-old nephew, right, the sky is red, right? And he'll believe the sky is red, right? You could tell a child anything and they'll believe it. Then, he goes to school and he gets told the sky is blue. Now he believes the sky is blue. Now he's believing two different things and he's being tossed to and fro, right? Children, they'll believe anything you tell them, right? Being tossed to and fro, right? It says, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, right? So the wind of doctrine, you might tell a child, well, you can't celebrate birthdays. And then he goes to school and they have a Valentine's Day event. And next thing you know, the kid is like, well, I didn't celebrate my birthday, but, we have Valentine's Day at school and this and that. That's being carried away by every wind of doctrine, right? It says, by the slay of men, right? And cunning craftiness. Because how does Esau do it? He's crafty with it. He knows that, eventually the Israelites are going to have to wake up, right? So the way that he gets us is through craftiness. The way he gets our people is through craftiness, right? It says whereby, and real quick, quick point on that, a lot of our people, we get paid on the weekend. A lot of our people like to spend money as soon as we get paid. So it's a reason why Esau does these things, right? This is cunning craftiness, right? I'm gonna pay you on the weekend just so you can kind of spend money, even though it's the Shabbat, right? Or supposed to know it's the Shabbat. I'm gonna make it so that you have to, your bill might be coming up on the weekend or so and so, right? This is cunning craftiness. It says whereby they lie in wait to deceive. So this is just the nature of Esau, right? And when it comes to the food, right, they lie in wait to deceive, right? They're pumping our food with all types of chemicals, right? You can eat candy and it tastes like nothing but straight up chemicals. You could drink some juice and it's nothing but chemicals, man. It says shake well. You got to shake all the chemicals together, right? Shaking all the red 40, yellow 40, right? Next thing you know, you got prostate cancer, right? Out the blue, you just got prostate cancer, right? So these are things that they do to deceive, right? They lie in wait, right? Especially, we like to eat. We have feast days. Of course, Esau's going to, put his hand in there some way, right? So point being is that we got to stay vigilant. We can't be like children tossed to and fro, but we also have to put our trust in the Most High God, Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua. So I yield with that point.
Hey, beautiful point, brother. You know what? You said something that was really, really interesting to focus on is with the food, right? That you heard what the Edomites said, that they're making them euthanize all the chicken, pour out gallons of milk, kill the ready to harvest cattle, beef. And he's saying is because they want you to use an alternate source of food source that's being imported. But not only that, you said the craftiness and the deceiving way in the ways and the craftiness, the cunning craftiness. What do they like to say? You know what? You shouldn't eat that stuff. Meat is bad for you to eat. You should actually eat plant-based stuff because it's made out of a plant. It's better for you. But realistically, we understand that plants alone are great sources of vitamins and benefits, but minus the chemicals we're talking about, right? And they're telling us now, look, let's get away from the meats and the things that the Lord gave us in Leviticus 11 to eat, that he said is clean and good for us to eat. Let's go into the cunning craftiness or the lies and the deceit that lie in wait for us by going to an alternate type of food source, right? Because this is what this
Hey everybody, this
was
is
saying.
Shad
You don't need to hear it
Sullivan
again,
coming.
but that's what this guy was saying. Because what? They want you to eat this vegan meat. They want you to go and say this meat is just like real beef, but it's plant-based with 20 grams of protein, no soy, no gluten. Then what's in it? How you have beyond? What is this beyond meat? We brought out some stuff before that they print meat and print steaks and doing all this and doing all that. But you think, that sounds a little futuristic. Like, what's the chances of me going out to that restaurant in another country in Israel and eating a printed out steak? It may not be as high as you going to the chances of you going to a grocery store once a week, maybe, and coming across this sorcery right here. Like, man, this is in the meat section. You walking by it, maybe you're like, man, you're gonna get seduced by it. You know, these freak them off patties, right? Because you know, what is these things? But they stick them in there for you to be seduced and mesmerized by it. I'm gonna try it once. It might not be that bad. Let me try it once, because it does say it has 20 grams of plant protein per serving. So it says it's good, but what are they really coming out to say? Vegan meat confirmed to cause health issues.
That's crazy.
You know, they got at Burger King, they got the Impossible Whopper, man.
Check it out.
Which is plant-based. This is such a long list of ingredients. You have highly inflammatory canola oil in here, and the coconut oil is refined, and there's natural flavors. This is terrible. Plant-based beef patties with the same ingredients. Look at the Impossible Beef Burger. The second ingredient is GMO soy, inflammatory sunflower oil, natural flavors, soy protein isolate, not good. Sausage made from plants. Wait, what? Yeah, because it's mostly GMO soy protein concentrate. Again, with the natural flavors, sunflower oil, synthetic vitamins, this is no good. Who are on vegan diets, really look at the research and look at the ingredients in these plant-based burgers. These are made in laboratories. Stay away from the plant-based burgers at Target. Beyond Beef, which is plant-based.
Hey,
this is such a long list of ingredients.
And so, you know, they're telling on themselves right now, man, because they're telling you it confirmed, because these things are the things that causes high blood pressure, cardiac arrest, you know, clogging your artery with GMOs. GMO? Why does it got to be GMO, man? I thought you were just going to get some plants and, you know, use those plants to make it. No, you're using refined oils and fat things like that are terrible for you to eat on a normal day.
Hey,
so you're gonna get out of shape and you're gonna get unhealthy by eating plant-based. But they want to trick you to say, look, the natural protein, the natural fats from a natural cow or natural chicken is unhealthy for you to eat. But let us stuff this GMO saturated oils, refined oils, to cause you to have clogged arteries, make you have heart attacks and different things of that nature, man. I yield with that. I just wanted to bring that out just so we can also show the craftiness of what they're trying to get you away from, going from a natural food source to an artificial food source that is definitely going to lower your life expectancy.
Hey, Salakia, man, they just did a study. Well, not even a study, an experiment. They're turning a lot of catfish into females. Listen to what I'm saying. They're turning a lot of catfish into females, right, through soy. There's a chemical in soy called glish or something, and they put it in the waters, and it turns a lot of male catfish into female catfish, man. Soy is not a good thing for you to have. You know what I'm saying? And my little brother, he grew up off of soy milk, man. So all of this stuff that's even in his meat, the man said they had soy in the meat. It's messing up your it's doing some things, man. It's turning, if it was able to turn, you know what I'm saying, catfish into female organisms, then imagine what it's doing to the so-called Israelite man, woman, and child, man. It's messing them up. It's throwing their balance, they're throwing everything that they have in them off balance, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that's crazy that you mentioned that, man. Can you, I don't know if you're still on here, if you can pull a precept for me. If not, I'll pull it myself.
Which one you want, King?
Michael, 2 and 1.
Gotcha.
Classic precept, huh?
Micah 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in their power of their hand.
Hey, so they sit here and they think about the evil that they can do. They meditate on it. They imagine things on it. Hey, some scriptures say they can't sleep unless they do something that's evil, man.
That sounds Edomite to me.
That sounds like the Edomite to me, man. That's what. And when it comes down to it, these Edomites, they're crafty. The brother you call brought it out. They're crafty with it, man. They're not going to tell you what it's going to do. They're just going to give it a big fancy word and tell you what's good for you. Just push it out there, man. That's why it's very, very important that you watch and pay attention, because you might find out something, man. I can tell you right now, I'm not touching soy at all. That's just me, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not touching soy, no soy milk for me. And there was a point in time when I tried it. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, I was hooked on it, but eventually it fell off. And now I know why. It's the Lord. Slakia, go ahead.
You got something to cook on that, you call?
Nah, the brothers brought it out, man. You know, it just looks shady, you know, Impossible Burger, Beyond Burger, you know, all these different, you know, slogans and terms that they use. But it has, you know, I believe it was 2 shows we did, you know, in time past, where, you know, we covered natural flavors, man. Right? I believe that was like what, last week or 2 weeks ago. We covered, you know, the natural flavors and how that works, man. Infusing it with the flavor of actual beef, right? So in these, like the man in the video said, he said, you know, these things are constructed in a lab. You know, any food that's made in a lab should not go into your body, right? And we understand, you know, give me Ezekiel 4:13, right? We understand that we're in the land of the heathen and this is how they run things. But at the same time, we have to be circumspect as well, right? And this is a classic precept, but I'll just bring it out. It says, "In the Lord," Ezekiel 4:13, "and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I would drive them." Right, and that statement is twofold. But you know, the point that I'm driving is that we're going to have to consume the things of the Gentiles, man. That's why a lot of our people are hooked on certain foods and they can't get off of it, right? In Mexico, I believe it's a crisis of Coca-Cola, right? It's a Coca-Cola crisis in Mexico going on. They're hooked on Coke, literally hooked on Coca-Cola. And we know the effects of Coca-Cola, what it can do to your body. It's acid, right? It's not just acidic, it's straight up acid, man. It can clean, you know, oil off your driveway. It cleans up rust, right? Coca-Cola is detrimental to the body, right? But the Lord said that we'll have to be, you know, hooked on these things, right? That the Gentiles, you know, are hooked on, man. Their way of living, we're going to have to adopt some of those ways in order to survive, right? Of course, we have Yahweh Bashim Yahushua at the end of the day, but you know, again, like the brothers was going into, right? These things are constructed in order to keep us oppressed, man. These things are it's not natural to eat a plant-based meat burger. That doesn't even sound right, man. A plant-based meat burger. When did the Lord say it was ever a sin to eat beef? Right? We have Passover every year, right? Where we're commanded to eat meat, right? We're commanded to eat meat, right? So there's nothing wrong with eating meat, right? But then Esau, they'll pump the plant-based food. Not saying it's wrong to eat, you know, have a vegetarian diet, anything like that, but you have to eat meat, you know, every year, right? At Passover, right? So the Lord said, you know, there's nothing wrong. You know, he gave us clean, what the brother was going into. We have clean foods and we have unclean, right? You eat the clean foods and you discard the rest. See what I'm saying? Right? But the plant-based, you know, phenomena, you know, they're blowing it up. We know usually when Esau blows something up, there's nothing good behind it, right? There's never anything good behind what Esau is trying to promote, right? So with that, you.
And I love the points that you made, just what you just said right here. You know what I mean? We're going to eat the defiled bread amongst the Gentiles, and you know we're in the possession of the Gentiles, man. And that's what a lot of the things that we don't you know, consider when we're living our day-to-day life. Even if you're an Israelite, you know, you woke up, you know that you're living and doing better day by day, but you still got to remember that you was brought up in the mindset of the Gentiles and understanding what is acceptable and what's not acceptable, because we've never been in our homeland where we've been able to have our own pure, undefiled foods, man, undefiled customs and undefiled products. So, you know, and I just don't want nobody to forget that the reason why this actually happened, this is because of us, because we went off in our transgressions with the Lord, man. And if we want to get up out of this and not to be exposed to these types of things any longer, these types of food, we all as a nation have to repent and come back to the Lord, because the Lord told us this in Nehemiah 9:37. What do you say? Look, in 36. He said, behold, we are servants this day, and for the land that thou gavest unto our fathers to eat the fruit thereof and the good thereof, behold, we are servants in it. So this used to be the land of the so-called Gadites and the Reubenites at one point in time. The Lord gave them this land at one point in time, but they went over here and they wilded out, man. They went into what? Further idolatry. It says in what Esdras, that they came over here, second Esdras, to keep the Lord's commandments. Then they went into further abominations when they came out here, man. And the Lord said, what will happen if we went into a new land that we were supposed to do? He said, and it yielded much increase unto the kings whom thou hast set over us because of our sins. We're in a land that we built up America, we built up the crops. They not only took us from wherever we was on the west coast of Africa or the animals that we had when we were here, they brought our animals and our cattle over here to create the beef industry, man. So now they brought our riches, they brought our cattle, they brought us over here as cattle as well. And now, you know what? The Lord said they're gonna take you're gonna provide a lot for them. You're gonna give them a lot. And it's because you went into sin. And it said also they had dominion over our body. So when they say, look, we taking away all the real meat that's good for you to eat in this land, you got to eat this fake meat.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice unless you're just gonna stop eating that, because what happens if they get rid of the plants? What happens if this is the only thing that you have available in the stores is artificially produced foods? What are you gonna do? You can't really do much, because what? Also, they have dominion over our bodies and over our cattle. They're gonna, if they want to kill the cows, they're gonna kill the cows. They want to kill the chickens, they're gonna kill the chickens. They're gonna pour out all the milk, they're gonna pour out all the milk at their what? At their pleasure. And just like the brother brought out in Micah 2:1. They sit upon their bed to see how they can do mischief, bro, because this is the pleasurable thing for them, to see how they can put a people in what? And we are in great distress. This is the love of the other nations that hate Israel, man. They have dominion over your bodies, over your food, and they love to make you feel horribly afflicted because of what? We went off and the Lord has set them over us to punish us, man. So we got to get up out of this mindset of understanding, like, let's stay here and make it through. Let's try to, make the best. No, we need to repent. We need to pray to the Lord. We need to cry upon the Lord like we did in Egypt, that he come and save us up out of here, so that we can get these people from having their hands around our necks and their hands in our food, in our refrigerator, man. And I'll yield with that. But if nobody got anything else to say on that, we'll just jump to the next topic, because,
let's jump into that next topic, man.
I'll praise the Most High. All right, so that's on the forefront of the food right now, man. And this is we're going to go into the chemtrails now. A lot of people don't realize that, look, hey, these chemtrails are not just accidentally out there. This is not going to be like a super long topic, but just to show you, they're poisoning your air. The reason why you start acting certain ways sometimes and be different, like you go outside in a good mood, and the next thing you know, you just feel depressed. You just feel like, damn, I'm angry. But then you look up and you see these damn lines in the sky, and it's like you don't put one to one together. You just like maybe an airplane passed by. Airplanes birds fly through the sky all the time, but they don't leave those types of trails when they break in the wind up in the air. So what is really in these chemtrails, man? This is fact check. So this is a true thing that says New Hampshire becomes the second U.S. state to ban chemtrails. So it's not a conspiracy. It's just that literally it's a podcast that it said that a patient went to see the doctor about sudden reaction to the body was responding to, and the doctor said, maybe you were allergic to chemtrails. So there's things that are in there that you think that you have allergies. You're getting these pumping migraines. You're getting these sores and your skin's irritating and reacting all differently because they're pouring chemicals on you. You understand? This is chemical warfare. We're at war with the so-called Edomites, and they're saying, you know what? Who can bring me from up here? Who can bring me down to the earth? That's what he said in Obadiah, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's what he's leaving above us, all these chemicals that we have dominion over our body. You can't go outside and tell them to not do that. And this is, how many states are in America? What, 51 states?
50.
Only 2. No, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, brother. You might want to do your history. Or maybe I do. Let's just look it up. I'm just curious, because we need to be factual to the people. How many states in America? Okay, 50 states. So great. I need to do my history. Hey, right? I thought it was 51. But they be lying. They be telling us all kind of shit. But anyways, so yeah, the politicians are saying that, look, The doctors are saying so how does the doctors know that you could be allergic to chemtrails if they don't get taught that in school? How do you know the thing? Maybe you're allergic to chemtrails. Why would that be a natural thing to consider as a diagnosis? I would say, what are you eating? What are you ingesting? What have you came in contact with? Did you touch something? No, they're just saying going outside and breathing can give you allergic reactions that your body doesn't understand because you don't know what you're breathing in outside, man. They got you drinking refined sewage water, and now they're pumping chemicals from above and from below. So it's brass and iron, literally like the Lord said it's going to be.
Hey,
you got something to say to add to that?
Yeah, man. I remember back in 2005, man. If you would have said something about chemtrails, people would call you a conspiracy theorist. Kind of label you as a madman, man. But hold on, it said this is the second state to ban chemtrails.
Yes.
So what's the first state to ban chemtrails? It's Texas. Texas, from my understanding, Texas is the first state to ban chemtrails. All right, let's do that research, man. Make sure I'm not wrong.
It says the first state to ban chemtrails is Texas.
You see that?
A full report of chemtrail fallout in the skies in 2024.
That's
let me ask you a question. Have y'all ever looked up in Texas and seen chemtrails? So they may be banned, but do you still see chemtrails?
They banned on paper.
That's that's that craftiness that your call was bringing out in the scripture right there.
Exactly, man. They banned it on paper, man. But I remember in Louisiana, man, I used to be outside at my grandmother's house jumping on a trampoline, and I see planes in the sky kind of using the chemtrails to write things in the air to make you feel good as they poison you, man. You see that? So, hey, I just wanted to bring that out, man. Back in the day, they would have called you crazy for mentioning chemtrails, man. So what else are you crazy about? That you're actually right. Right? Is America's government ran by the rich people? Right? The Illuminati, are they real? Like, all of this stuff needs to be considered because they're showing you the proof, man. The same things you've been talking about years ago is being shown, man.
Look at what this is from Harvard. It says chemtrails conspiracy theory it's not a true thing, right?
Yeah.
It says we received many emails and letters asking me about chemtrails. Many expressed deep concern. Some are abusive and threatening. This page gives our views on that topic. It says background. Chemtrails refers to the theory, something that can't be proven, that governments or other parties are engaged in a secret program to add toxic chemicals to the atmosphere from aircraft in a way that forms visible plumes in the sky, somewhat similar to contrails. Various different motivations for this alleged spraying are speculated, including sterilization, reduction of life expectancy, mind control, or weather control. We have not seen any credible evidence that chemtrails exist.
You see that? Hey,
Harvard.
It says mind control. So you wonder why the people in the hoods, they angry all the damn time, man.
See that? You see that? And what did it say right there? Including sterilization, reduction of life expectancy. This sounds like Egypt all again. Get their sons and kill their firstborns. Castrate them. And then reduction of life expectancy, man. They're trying to poison us and kill us, man. Mind control and weather control. Tell me if we haven't just went over them actually making artificial rain. Is that not a true thing? So Harvard's trying to get you to think, hey, look, we're a prestigious university built off of slavery, right? All this shit is just speculation. It's a theory. You guys are wacko, right? Y'all are crazy, thinking that the government is doing anything in the sky. But there's 2 states to openly ban chemtrails, but it's a theory. How do you ban a theory that's non-evident with non-evidence? It's hypocrisy. So when you say I got a prestigious degree from Harvard, that means you have a degree from one of the highest form of liars in the state, in the country.
Right.
Because
I remember.
Go ahead.
Oh, Con, I didn't mean to cut you off, King.
No, go ahead, King. Go ahead.
I remember not too long ago they had a artificial snow, and it was just sticking and it would move by itself, man. They had a video of snow, and it looked like rice. It didn't look like a actual a grain of snow. I don't know the correct terminology, but it didn't look like real snow. It looked like flat rice, and it would move by itself. And this was falling from the sky heavily, right? Coating people's driveways and yards, man. So you really can't put. Ever since I saw that the video of that cloud machine, Esau inventing clouds, and the clouds are going in the air and taking different forms and shapes. No, you really can't put anything past this devil, man. They'll literally create anything. And the Lord said, don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven, right? Because the heathen are dismayed at them. These are things we know that Esau is responsible for, right? You don't just have, a thousand chemtrails in the sky, and then all of a sudden, brothers and sisters are getting sick, right? And it lasts for about 24 hours to about 3 days, right? Everybody's seeing chemtrails in the sky, and now all of a sudden everybody's sick out of nowhere. Never been sick, great immune system, but now you're just sick because you've been exposed to the outside air, right?
And you remember we just had that conversation, brother, where we was like, how is it that when we were looking at the last, remember when everybody just got crazy sick, everybody household, but then you start looking at the demographics and the area of the people that were getting sick. When we were out teaching, it was odd because I saw our people coughing and cackling, and I would see the Edomites and all the other nations just walking around good. You know what I mean? So it's like biological warfare, man. They got things that they know target us. That's how they do it. So they may spray it in the air. That's why when the so-called Esau eat pork, he don't get the same thing we get, because their bodies aren't built to be against it. They don't have the same rates of high cholesterol and diabetes and different things like that. But they put that stuff in the air, and we all got sick. Everybody got sick.
Yeah, that's crazy, because even us in Atlanta, we got sick that same week. And Josiah, he was talking about how it was nothing but chemtrails in the sky, man.
Hey, you see that?
Yep. He said it was the most he ever seen in that same week. Hey, a good bit of us was sick.
Hey, brother. Hey, if you can't make this stuff up, but they telling everybody, and it's a credible source. Who's gonna say I have more reputation and knowledge than Harvard University when they say that's the most prestigious place you can go? Ivy League, right? Yale, Harvard. These are the places that that have that ability to change times and things that are true, man. Because if they publish it, it becomes true. Just like we just said, we saw it said on the that they said, look, we can't even. They got to go ask permission for things that they need to post. And I'm just going to play this because this is actually going to lead us right into the next statement of what we got going on, right? So I'm just going to finish this one off real quick. Watch.
You can see here, CNN runs Gaza coverage past Jerusalem team operating under shadow of an IDF sensor.
A shadow, meaning a disguise, brother. They got to ask permission. So CNN, which is an American-based company over here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? They got to contact Israel over there, the Israelis, and say, yo, we're going to run an article about what y'all actually doing. And then they like, we don't really like that. You can't tell the people the truth about it. But you got to tell them that the Palestinians and everybody else are evil, and we're over here doing a good sweep. But they're going to ask permission to put out there what the people should believe or not. So they're lying off the top.
The Israeli Defense Forces censor. So every single Palestinian-related line for reporting must seek approval from the Jerusalem Bureau.
So I don't want to hear any more pro-Israelis referencing the news again. It's done.
So that's letting you know that you trying to use media sources that are corrupt to gain validation. What's the truth? The word is the truth. That's what we know is the truth. The Lord told us what was going to happen, and we're reading the word, and then we go find the sources of information in the world. But the Lord told us it was going to happen first. So this is uncorruptible. This is proven. And every time we read it, we look into what's going on in the world. The world is proving the words of the Lord to be truer and truer every second of every day. You understand? And then right now, what is that doing? What are they even talking about in this? They're talking about the war in Israel against Gaza. So you got Amalek versus Ishmael. right? You got all them fighting over there. But let's see what these people are saying, that we already know that they lying, and we know World War III is on the brink. But this is the things that they're not showing you that is happening in the world right now. How many people do you think this is, man? Can you really get a good glimpse? I'm gonna see if I can blow this up a little bit. Do you see how big and how many people this is?
An innumerable multitude, man.
Damn near. Watch this. Look what it's doing. We don't care. Make it a major world war. We don't care.
We don't care.
The world's ready for this world that we're talking about. All them people are at peace. You can make it a major world war. They're ready to, these people are ready to kill everybody in the earth. Everybody. And they're not, are they standing near each other, eyeballing each other, saying, I wish a nigga would? Do they got that wish a nigga would spirit? Or do they got, you know what? Let's come together as a nation and let's go to war, to a world. Let's go fight everybody in the world.
Yep.
And they standing hand by hand, singing in unison, supporting each other to destroy the enemy that is destroying their people. And they're saying they're willing to take a fight to the whole world. They say, let's make it a world war. This is them. They rally across Yemen denouncing U.S. bombing. This is how they've been doing it all over the earth right now. Ishmael is gathering his people to go to war, bro.
Yep. They rallying the troops.
So and you got a whole state of people right here it's a sea of people from miles and miles of people, shoulder to shoulder. Nobody's getting hurt, no stampedes, no fighting. They're crying out to their people because they say, yo, this is a horrible thing, but you can't get 5 niggas in the room without somebody starting an argument. And let alone, don't let them have a little bit to drink. Now somebody gonna die. But you get, I'd say, 1 million of them in rows in unison, and they're helping each other and not hurting each other. The rest of the world is saying, we are ready to go to war for our people because the U.S. is bombing. They denouncing it. They hate Babylon. So they're saying, that's what they're talking about. They're not talking about, let's just go randomly. They say, we want to go to war against Babylon, the U.S. And these are Palestinians. You don't think there's Palestinians here? There's people, these people are all spread out throughout the earth too? Because they're free to roam, man. But look how they've been free to stay as one people. There's more of us than them, but you had that many of us in that area, it'll turn to shit real quick. How many people be dead? If you put all these are Israelites, Hispanics, and so-called blacks, and Native Americans all together like this, what do you think gonna happen?
Fight.
Before it even get
war.
Fight, stabbings, shootings. And that's getting all our people we could never do that at this point as a group of people to stand and be like, yo, we're going to kill the people that's hurting our people. We're going to be in a group like this with the people hurting our people, talking about free them. Forgive and forget. Turn the other cheek. The Lord said, love your enemy. But when you get your own people in a group like this, you hate them to death. You don't love them. You have none of that towards your own people to get them to be like, hey, forget that, brother. Hey, forgive our people. Get together. No, we don't have that compassion. And go ahead, Ken, what you got?
I was just gonna say, Potter trying to get back in.
Oh, Khan, Salaki.
Khan.
Hey, Salaki.
You back? You back?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, King.
Khan, you touched up on a great point. Hey, man, they wouldn't even let Jake have half of this, a quarter of this, without the police showing up, man, to break things up.
Oh, true.
So even in American KKK, when they tell you can do things like that, like you can rightfully protest and have freedom of speech, they wouldn't let this happen, man. The last time I see something this big, it was when Martin Luther King did that march, man. So yeah, man, I just wanted to say, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, They ready for war, man. The dragons of Arabia, they getting armed, and they're about to team up with their brethren, man. All of Ishmael, all of that nation, they finna come together and wreak havoc. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said they're wild, man. Imagine all of these people got a dang some C4 strapped to their chest, man. That's gonna be a big explosion.
And with this, I wanted to bring out the book of Luke 21:9, bro. Because this is like when you look at this scene, this is what you really actually see. I don't know if y'all can see it, but that's what I see through the spirit. This is what my eyes go to. Luke 21:9. It says, "But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions," this is a commotion, bro. If this ain't a commotion, I don't know what is. Just listen to this. Making a major war. What do you call that? They're making a commotion and declaring war as a nation. The Lord said that what's going to happen in the last days? But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. So we should be good. We should actually be like, man, this is all praises to the Most High. This should be a great sight for the Israelites. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. But what? Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what we're looking at. And it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. So really it's saying before all the shit hit the fan, we got to be on guard because they're going to start getting at us. They're going to start snatching us up off the streets. Then these wars are really going to start popping up. Then they're going to be trying to persecute us. You know why? Because they see that this place is going to be, it's already on its way out. So let's kill as many of them also before this place gets destroyed so we can get satisfaction out of destroying the people at the very end before this place is really brought down, just to feed onto their wickedness. And I'll yield with that. You got anything to add to that, brother? All right, bet. Check this out, though. Look, that's one protest. These are the World War III. So we're looking at, this is Ishmael going crazy with his people, right? Now let's see what the NATO is saying. Let's listen to what NATO says. Watch.
Have water, you need to have a radio on batteries, and you need to have a flashlight on batteries to make sure that you can survive the first 36 hours. Things like that. That's simple things. But it starts there. The realization that not everything is plannable, not everything is going to be hunky-dory in the next 20 years. I'm not saying it is going wrong tomorrow, but we have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. And that's why we have the plans. That's why we are preparing for a conflict with Russia and the terror groups. If it comes to it, if they attack us, we're not seeking any conflict. But if they attack us, we have to be ready.
And you see what that devil just said? What did he just say? Man, if they come and seek us out, then, we don't know how, he said, I don't know how long we're going to be at peace, right? He said, I don't know. We got to prepare, y'all. Y'all got to prepare. And, a lot of people say that's the bug out bag mentality, but it's not. I tell you like this. They know what's going on. Why he look terrified if he's saying it can happen in the next 20 years? What she's really saying is it's going to happen in the next few months.
Yep.
And he's kind of be like, I don't want to cause a world panic to the Edomites of the people, but we're going to have to go ahead and let you guys know that, look, it's going to go down, man. It is about to go down. And if you want to make it, you need to have these common, simple things to make it through. And that's basically where he's at. And I want to bring this one precept out real quick. Psalms 55 and 20. Psalms 55 and 20. It reads as he had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. So now he already went and what was so-called Israel doing on the west coast of Africa, or Gad doing when he was here? There was at peace, man. Then they got over here and broke the covenant and did what? Next verse. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And isn't that what they just did to us? But now they're afraid that that's what's going to be done to them, because the Lord's going to recompense them exactly what they did to us, double times double, man. So, hey, Esau, get ready. All the other nations, get ready. We're not going to come and make it sound good to us like, oh, hey, we're always good. We're at peace. We don't know who's going to be peace with us. He's not talking about us. He's talking about them. Their world of rulership and dominion is being threatened at this point. And they called everybody who doesn't want them to be in rulership terror groups and against them. And I yield with that.
Khan, it's never a good thing when Esau's uncertain. You got to remember, this is a proud man, right? He feels like he's on, he has dominion. He's on top of it all, right? So when Esau has that fearful look in his eyes and he's looking around and he's scatterbrained, right? That means that, when Esau's uncertain, anything is bound to happen, right? When you have your top officials and high-ranking agents, right, in Esau's army, right, in his role of position and leadership, right, when they have that uncertain look in their eyes, there can't be anything good coming from it. Because you got to remember, these men are proud. They're going to be proud till they die. They're going to be proud literally until Yahushua shows up. They're going to try to fight and destroy Yahushua. These are the same people that are going to come against the Lord and try to take down the chariots and fight and destroy the Lord, right? So when these people, they're uncertain, right, just know that it's about to go down, right? Something is about to, erupt, right? But I yield on that.
Hey, Salakia, can you give me the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4 and verse 9, Baba Kashaf?
Khan, I'm gonna give the screen over to your call real quick. Share your screen, King.
And I'm driving, if you don't mind reading that for me, King.
Khan, I got you, King. I got you.
Yeah, just share your screen so I can approve your screen.
Okay. Share screen. Can you see it?
Khan.
And you want to what precept up? Potter?
Ezekiel 4 and 9. Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 9. Can you hear me?
Okay, I got you. Ezekiel 4 and 9. Right? It says 4 and 9, correct? You hear me? Oh, he fell off. Let's see. Get the brother back in here. I want to make sure this is precept that he wanted. There we go. What precept you needed, King? 4-9, right?
I think he's frozen. I think he's having a bad connection.
Yeah. It's all good. Hey, it always has to be somebody. It's always got to be somebody's connection messing up, man.
Every time. Man.
Every time. Either I'm frozen and wipe out during the show, or it's always something.
But you know what, brother? I'm gonna keep it. Be honest with you. Like let's see if we can bring the brother back real quick. If you got better connection.
Yeah,
You there, King?
There we go. That's that Mint Mobile, man. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, can you hear me?
There we go. We can hear you.
Hello?
We can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can.
Y'all can hear me now? So hold up. Did you read that already?
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4 and verse 9. Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley and beans and lentils and millet and fitches, and put them in one vessel, and make thee bread thereof according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon thy side. 390 days shalt thou eat thereof.
Hey, so this is what the Lord told Ezekiel before he went into slavery, man. Before he went to slavery, he said, hey, get you barley and put it in a vessel, man. Get you wheat, put it in the vessel. So he's telling him prepare, man. Ain't nothing wrong with being prepared, man. Right? You know what I'm saying? And the Edomites, they're telling you, hey, look, prepared. They're not saying that for no reason. I was talking to the brother earlier and read the brother Karatazar, and I was telling him about what they said in Florida, man. How the chief of police got on the news and told everybody to get some guns, man, and learn how to shoot. Get you a concealed license and learn how to shoot. That's what they're telling you over here in America, man. So, hey, war is coming to the earth. Death, violence is coming, and it's coming quick. But if you're not being girded up, you ain't got the faith of why Yahweh shot, right? You're not changing who you are. Hey, you're gonna be caught out there in that day, man. Right? We in the last days, we ain't got no more time to play around. Like, it's getting extremely serious out here, man. That's it.
And you know what's crazy with what you're saying? Because I'm telling you, what's the common theme here? They're saying, let's make a major war. They don't want peace. Esau's terrified that everybody don't want to be set in the same place that they've been with this wicked man ruling our earth right now. And now he's saying, hey, we've been peaceful with everybody, but, you know, we can't guarantee that our peace is going to stay that way. So they're telling the other crackers, hey, man, hey, they ready to get at us? Let's see what else is coming. Also, what? North Korea is saying, what? They don't want, look, it said North Korea will no longer pursue reconciliation with South because of hostility, Kim Jong-un says. They don't want to be at peace with themselves neither. The brother brought out the kingdom that's divided against itself is surely going to fall, right? So all these kingdoms are split. North Korea versus South Korea. Esau versus Amalek. Everybody's against each other. And now they're definitely saying make it a world. The world, the pot is boiling so heavy right now. They don't want peace in the earth right now. They want to bring down this certain level of this aspect, the current level of what the world is in. And we like to bring out the classic on this one, man. Let's bring out the book of 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. So this is what everybody's understanding. For Esau is the end of the world. So all these people declaring, let's let this war go. Oh shit, I'm not even sharing.
Oh, Khan, I thought you wanted me to get it.
That's a lie. I thought I was sharing.
Khan.
That's a lie. Yeah. Let me see. Share this. It's a lie. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That's what people are terrified of right now. They don't even understand. They really want everything to fall because, like we like to say, who got next? We got next, right? And that's what's really coming into this place right now. You know, and there's nothing you can really do about that. There's nothing they can do about it. What the brother say? Not too long ago, 12 nations voted for peace and ceasefire except for America. That sounds pretty like his words are smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, man. And it says America was the only one to vote against peace because they're not the sword. The sword is the wicked, man. They don't rest. They don't get no rest at all. And it says, yeah, you know, and that's basically it on that. That's what they're really getting into right now is that they're terrified because they said their world of peace is coming on to an end. Their heaven is about to come down, man, because they privately asked who's going to do it. But the Lord said, hey, he going to do it with a strong hand like he did in Egypt. And we going to get up and establish a kingdom for an everlasting kingdom with Yahushua, man, when he comes back to redeem us. And that's a terrible thing for the heathens, because you know what? They've done a lifetime of destruction to us, but you know what? We're going to have an eternity to subject them and to put them in their rightful place as our possessions to be used as our will, man. Just like it was always destined for us to have from the beginning of time. Isaiah 14:1 on down. Yeah, but anybody else got something to add to that?
Nah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head right there, man.
You know, and that's kind of like, I guess, you know, we ran through all our topics quite a bit. You know what I mean? That's the state of the world in, people. That's Israel. So y'all really gotta start digesting this information, digesting where we're really sitting in this current climate, digest all these things that are actually on the brink for our people and for our salvation and for our redemption. And also, if you're not in the right place, for your destruction and the wailing and gnashing of teeth, man. And so with that, I'm going to leave off with my closing precept, but I wanted to bring out was, I would close out with this one. Psalms 39:1. Here we go. Psalm 39:1. It says, I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue, and I will keep my mouth with bridle while the wicked is before me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to make sure that in these last days, I'm making sure my actions are good, and I'm going to make sure that I'm talking righteously. I'm speaking the truth. I don't want to sin with my mouth, because what is that? Blaspheming the word, man. You know what I mean? Bringing false accounts against what's not going to happen. Oh, this ain't really true. It ain't really going. You're lying on the scriptures. That's a sin to say that what the Lord wrote down isn't going to come to pass. That's a sin, brother. You lying on your fellow brothers that wrote these scriptures, man. You're not even considering that you're going to keep your mouth tight, man. And you're going to keep it hush while you got wicked people around you, because what? You're going to be giving up, you know, the things that you should be keeping to yourself that the wicked don't need to know. And it says, I was done with silence. I held my peace even from good, and my sorrows were stirred. So you got to make sure that you stand on top of yourself. Sometimes you know when to speak, but always make sure that you don't speak against his word and blaspheme the name of the word. And also make sure that you stay on what the key point is. I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue, and I will keep my mouth basically quiet. And don't be spilling the beans to the enemy, man. Don't allow your enemy to overthrow you because you talking to them about things that don't pertain to them. And you're not keeping even track of what you're really doing. You just loose with it. That's what a nice way to say it. You just loose, man. So tighten up, Israel. So because we almost up out of here, but we got to tighten up and repent and come back to the law, statute, commandments with the faith of Yahushua and praise the Most High Yahweh. And that's what we got to do in these last days, man. And I yield with that.
God. Can you give me the book of Sirach 4:25, Baba Kasha? It's going hand in hand with you was going into. Right? It says, in no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed of the error of thine ignorance. Right? So like the brother was going into, you know, and we can't be ashamed to speak this truth, man. Right? This is something that has to come out. This is something that has to come forward. Right? And it's a blessing that our people are actually starting to hearken and come back, like it, you know, the prophecy reads in the book of Baruch, right? So we can't be ashamed to, you know, to speak this truth. And the scriptures say, in no wise speak against the truth, right? Because we can't let corrupt communication proceed out of our mouth, right? We can't let blasphemous things proceed out of our mouth, right? So it's an honor to be able to, you know, commit our works into this truth, commit our works into the Most High ultimately, right? And, you know, to come out of the error of our ignorance, right? Coming out of the world, right? And really, you know, hearkening to the words of the Most High and coming into this truth, right? And living it every day, right? So with that, all praise be to the Most High. Are you?
Khan, can you give me the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 4, and verse 58 through 60?
This is the book of First Esdras 4 and verse 58. Now, when this young man was gone forth, he lifted up his face toward heaven, toward Jerusalem, and praised the King of heaven. Verse 59, and said, from thee cometh victory, from thee cometh wisdom, and thine is in the glory, and I am thy servant. Blessed art thou who hast given me wisdom, for to thee I give thanks, O Lord of our fathers.
All right, all praise to the Most High. I'm glad the Lord gave us wisdom, understanding in these last days to even be able to bring this stuff out, man. It's all about his will, his mercy. Right, may his name be glorified. Hey, thank you. I hope this video helped, you know what I'm saying, people get on their pivot, people understand the times, right, and save them in that day, man. Right, that's all I got to say.
And with that, we love to say we love y'all, Israel. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Tune in next week for another update in that episode of Blowing That Trumpet. And, you know, so we're just trying to get y'all to understand we're going to blow that trumpet.
Go ahead, you call.
And stay on that pivot, man. It's all right. It's an alley-oop, right? So, shalom. Hey, we love y'all. Shalom.
Shalom.
Love y'all. Love y'all, family. Shalom.
Shalom.